Meet Karoline Leavitt. If you haven't heard her name yet, you will at only 27. She's become one of the youngest and most talked about figures in American conservative politics. From White House briefings to campaign rallies, Karoline is making waves and fast. Her rise hasn't just been about age. It's about how fiercely and confidently she's carved a place in the political world, one typically dominated by older, more seasoned voices. In a time when politics feels more divided than ever, Leavitt stands out, not just because of what she says, but how she says it. She's bold, unapologetic, and deeply loyal to her values. Whether you agree with her or not, you can't deny she's a force. And today, we're unpacking her story, from small-town roots to the national spotlight. You'll see where she came from, what drives her, and why people either love her or love to hate her. This isn't just a bio. It's a look at how one young woman is redefining the path to political influence in America. Karoline was born in Atkinson, New Hampshire, a quiet town where values like faith, family, and community run deep. Her upbringing was rooted in those traditions. She grew up in a working-class family, surrounded by small-town grit, conservative ideals, and the belief that hard work opens doors. From a young age, she was drawn to politics. While most kids were flipping through comic books, Karoline was watching the news and debating current events at the dinner table. Her ambition led her to St. Anselm College, a small liberal arts school with a big reputation for launching political careers. There, she studied politics and communications, sharpened her media skills, and graduated at the top of her class. She wasn't just showing up, she was standing out. Professors saw her potential. Classmates saw her drive. And before long, Washington took notice too. Karoline didn't wait for permission. She went after what she wanted, starting with an internship that would change everything: the White House. Karoline's internship at the White House during President Trump's first term was more than just a resume booster. It was a launchpad. She was young, sure, but she wasn't there to fetch coffee. She observed, absorbed, and started making moves. Her energy and confidence didn't go unnoticed. By 2019, she was named Assistant Press Secretary, becoming one of the youngest ever to hold the role. She wasn't afraid to speak up, push back, or stand her ground, whether facing journalists or prepping for high-stakes briefings. She carried herself with the conviction of someone twice her age. She became a trusted voice in Trump's communication team, shaping narratives and learning how Washington really works. But she wasn't done. Her time at the White House fueled her hunger for more, a bigger platform, a louder voice, and maybe one day, public office. After the White House, Karoline joined the office of Congresswoman Elise Stefanik as Communications Director. It was a perfect training ground for someone looking to master the inner workings of Congress and GOP messaging. Under Stefanik, one of the highest-ranking Republican women in the House, Karoline refined her strategy, developed messaging, and stayed plugged into national issues. She wasn't just a behind-the-scenes player anymore. She was being groomed as a future star. At just 24, she was already becoming a familiar face in conservative circles and right-wing media. Her growing presence in MAGA politics made one thing clear: Karoline wasn't content being staff. She wanted to be the candidate, and she was willing to fight for it. In 2022, Karoline took the leap. She ran for Congress in New Hampshire's 1st District, becoming one of the youngest women ever to run as a Republican. Her message was straight out of the America First playbook: tough on crime, pro-Second Amendment, and fiercely anti-establishment. She embraced Trump, railed against woke culture, and promised to take on the D.C. swamp. The campaign wasn't easy. Critics attacked her youth, her experience, even her tone. But Karoline pushed forward with relentless energy. Her grassroots campaign gained national attention and solidified her as a rising conservative voice. Though she lost the general election, the impact was lasting. She built a loyal base, earned Trump's continued support, and positioned herself as a key player in the next phase of GOP politics. In 2024, Karoline returned to the Trump orbit as press secretary for his campaign. It was a pivotal moment. The political climate was more intense than ever, and Trump needed loyal, disciplined messengers. Karoline fit the role perfectly. Even after giving birth in July, she didn't slow down. She balanced motherhood with managing high-pressure media duties, showing both grit and resilience. Her presence on the campaign trail, speaking to press, rallying voters, defending Trump's positions, made her one of the most visible women in conservative politics. She wasn't just representing a candidate. She was helping shape the GOP's post-2020 identity. Karoline's influence was growing, and so was her spotlight. In January 2025, Karoline's personal life made headlines when she married Nicholas Riccio, a real estate executive more than 3 decades her senior. The 32-year age gap sparked plenty of online buzz, some supportive, some critical. But Karoline made it clear, her life, her choice. The couple's relationship was built on shared values, mutual respect, and a commitment to building a family. They welcomed a child just months before the wedding. Karoline's openness about balancing her career with motherhood and marriage resonated with many conservative women, especially those who see family and faith as central to their identity. For her supporters, it reinforced her authenticity. For her critics, it added another layer to debate. But through it all, Karoline stayed focused. Karoline's political positions are as sharp as her media skills. She's unapologetically conservative, pro-life, pro-gun, anti-woke. Her support for the Second Amendment is especially strong. She's spoken at rallies, stood with gun rights groups, and called out what she sees as attacks on personal freedom. For Karoline, the right to bear arms isn't just about guns. It's about defending the Constitution, standing up for rural Americans, and resisting government overreach. That message has earned her praise from the NRA and other conservative groups. She's not just repeating talking points. She believes in what she's saying. And in today's polarized landscape, that kind of conviction sets her apart. Today, Karoline Leavitt is more than a political spokesperson. She's a symbol of a new generation of conservatives. She's ambitious, media savvy, and fiercely loyal to values she grew up with. Whether she's briefing the press, hitting the campaign trail, or posting on social media, Karoline knows how to command attention. Her rise may feel fast, but it's no accident. It's the result of strategy, drive, and a clear vision for her future. Where that path leads next, Congress, media, even higher office, remains to be seen. But one thing's certain, Karoline Leavitt isn't going anywhere. Hit like if you found this interesting, and subscribe for more videos that break down power, history, and the stories behind global leaders.